Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to the eastern wing of the Stink Bug Works. I called it the southern wing the other day, but I lied. This is actually the eastern wing. Got a whole bunch to talk about this morning, and let's start right here. The 2S Challenge. The 2S Challenge is still up and going. This is one of the many prizes in the 2S Challenge. Complete. All you got to do is bind your radio to it. So there you go. Well, and put in a battery. And maybe change the connectors, because this is back in the days when I was using 4mm connectors. 2S Challenge. All you have to do is build a 2S boat that'll do the fastest 10 laps. The way it's going, if you have a 2S tugboat, you could be the winner, because I don't think anybody is building anything. I haven't heard a word. Everybody's got to have a 2S boat lying around, Put it in the water, videotape it, win prizes. Build something special, win all the prizes. Anyway, let's talk about the current project. I did a little cutting and gluing yesterday, and I think this is the way I'm going to lay things out. The problem is, it almost balances like this. It's just a 1/4-inch tail heavy, but it still gets a prop shaft, but it gets all this. So when I drop in that small block Chevy, that's going to kick the weight off. So I may have to put some weight up here. We'll see. I'm going to attach the upper half of these bulkheads now and start forming a shape for the deck. The kit would have you leave this part of the deck. You see how there's a little slit here. So this part of the deck will curve. They would have you leave this part flat. But I looked at some hallet boats, and there can be a little curve in here. So I think I may put a little curve in there, because I have a secret plan. A secret plan that I will discuss later. So I may put a little curve in there and do that. For the veneer that's going on here, it had some kind of bubbly surface to it. It wasn't perfectly flat. So right now it has been wetted out with ammonia, and it's sitting on a piece of glass with 70 or 80 pounds holding it down. And because I wetted it out, and the only thing separating it from the wood pushing down on it is a thin layer of wax paper. So it's going to take several days for that thing to get totally dry. When it does get totally dry, it'll probably be time to laminate it onto here. I'm going to build a fake dashboard coming off of here, making it a little bit longer and adding some rounding. And how it has this little ramp here, the full-size hallet boats actually had a little raised, what would I call it? It's not quite a fin, but it's like that, a little raised thing that went around either the passenger compartment, or it went around the whole boat. It was just kind of like a little lip. So I'm going to do something to that effect up here, and I hope that'll work with getting my interior in. So here's my plan for this. I'm going to put the speed controls back here, and with a 3-pronged or a 3-pole plug, kind of like an XT30, but 3 plugs instead of 2. I'm going to mount one of them permanently here, and run wires up to these plugs. So I'll have a plug with 3 leads coming off of it and these 3.5 millimeter sockets. And then the other end, I'll be able to plug in the speed control. So there will be a plug glued into this bulkhead. So it'll be watertight. All the radio will be happening back here. The only thing electronic here is the motors, and they will be plugged in through here so I can seal this whole back deck off. Now, like I said, I may be getting tail heavy with that model engine, so I may be back to thinking like this, and this way it'll be easy to seal, and it'll still look cool. A small block Chevy would look even cooler, but we'll just have to see. But for now, that's my thinking. My servo is going to go right here, and I'm going to set the arm at an angle so that the line between here and here, the arms are perpendicular to that line. So that'll be the line for operating the rudder. Okay, now, drive lines. I was originally thinking about using one of those 10-shock eco drives that came down at an angle and then leveled out. So you would have a stuffing tube coming down at an angle and then level under here. But there's a couple problems with that. It meant I would have to put an S-bend of some shape to work with the motor. And there's just a whole lot of added complexity and all. And one of my viewers said, just use a straight shaft. And, you know, the boat was designed around a straight shaft, and a straight shaft is so dirt simple. I think that's what I'm going to do. And boys and girls, there are a number of options of these underwater props that will work on a straight shaft. In fact, I've got them in 4 millimeters, and I've got some here in 3 millimeters, and these will actually glue onto 2 millimeter shafts. And I found these with a 2 millimeter bore in that you could glue each prop with green sauce onto its own dedicated shaft. 2 millimeter shafts are cheap, so each prop would just get its own shaft. Well, I originally thought about a 1/8 inch shaft riding in a 5/32 brass tube, and that way I could put a drive dog and any one of a number of props on it. But I can't get a whole lot of these underwater props. They're all 4 millimeter thread. I said, well, you know what? I could get 4 millimeter thread and make it work too. So this was the drive line that was in the, may it rest in peace, H&M Micro Hydro. And I figured, why not use it in this? I have several of these. It just takes this, what is this, 3 millimeter tube with a Teflon liner. And so that, I think, will be my drive. Now, here's a little thing I discovered and kind of why I went that way. These couplers come in a 3 millimeter to 2.3, which is a Speed 400 motor, or they come in 3.17 1/8 to 3 millimeters. So to make this 1/8 inch to 1/8 inch work, I got one that was 1/8 to 3 millimeters, and I reamed out the 3 millimeter side. And the 3 millimeter side was a perfect snug fit in here with my shaft. And the factory designed 1/8 inch actually had a little bit of play. Not much, but a little bit. And so I used that the one that had the factory 1/8 inch bore, I used that here. So this is the smaller size that I reamed out to 1/8, and this is the factory 1/8 that I put one of these little coupler adapters that you can get, shaft adapters that you can get. This one goes from 1/8 inch to 2 millimeters. And this 1/8 inch actually fit pretty snug in the factory 1/8 inch. So everything is good, and I can still use this as a drive shaft. So I think I'm going to go this way with the M4 threaded prop, and I can use any one of those props. So that will be my final drive arrangement, is I'm going to use that. Let's see, what else do I need to talk about? I think I've pretty much covered it. The weight and balance, all the parts, how I'm going to do the rudder steering. I've glued parts in. I put little doublers here because these bulkheads get extra pieces in here to form the deck curve. Anyway, this one is also the thing that holds that end of the motors in. So now when I put a load here, the motors don't move up and down. They're secure in there, and they're just held in with these 2 bolts. So there you go. Oh, I made a fin too. Hello. Where's my fin? I made me a fin to drop in. Boom, there you go. A big skid fin. I may make it a little smaller, I don't know. But that's it. A turn fin. So this thing will turn. Otherwise, it just slides sideways. It's like skipping a stone. There you go, boys and girls. Just a quick update. Until next time, jet out.